Greetings, invaders. My name is Scott. Welcome to On the Road Reviews.
Welcome. Make yourself comfortable, won't you? I want to tell you a story.
This is Book Invasion. This is the first installment of me talking about a book while I drive through horrible traffic on my way to work. Yay! Today we're going to be talking about The Light Brigade by Kameron Hurley. You might know Kameron Hurley's name because she also wrote The Stars Are Legion, as well as The Geek Feminist Revolution. So what is The Light Brigade? So Light Brigade is a military, mind-bending sci-fi that's been called a successor of books such as Starship Troopers, The Forever War, Down Below Station, even Old Man's War. It tells a story about soldiers who are in a war with Mars, and they've now figured out a technology to break these soldiers down into particles of light to send them out into the front lines or into their deployments, so to speak. Now, the Light Brigade talks about people who come back from these deployments or come back from the war different. They have different memories here and there. They have deployments that go wrong, in which they're deployed into the wrong squad and they're in a different surroundings than they've been briefed for, and they don't know how to explain why. So is someone else controlling the faster than light travel? Is someone else in control of where these light particles are sent? And why is it only happening to a certain group of people and not everyone? What's happening? So that's the kind of the gist of what's going on, and getting to the bottom of the real reason that the war is happening, and what the war that they're fighting actually is. In parts of the book, too, there are interviews that we read that are kind of interrogations or debriefs from a interviewer and a quote-unquote subject. So we don't know who the subject is. They're identified by a group of numbers, 9652837 or something like that. So that's who the character who's answering all these questions are. So it alludes to kind of why Dietz may be where she's going, where she is, and how she got there. So those interviews kind of sprinkle a little bit of, who is this? A little bit of mystery, but also a little bit of foreshadowing into the story, which I thought was really nice. It added a bit of, it's getting a little intense. They want to have answers, but this subject isn't giving them answers that they want. The book definitely grabs you in. It pulls you in because Dietz is kind of a new recruit. She's not really clear on what's happening and why, so she's very much a pawn in the plot of this story, where she gets pushed around and put into situations where she doesn't know what's going on or why she's there, who are the people she's with, what time she's in, because all of these soldiers in their comms, like their little brain pals, like in Old Man's War, they don't know what day it is, what year it is, and what time it is, other than kind of looking at the atmosphere. So no one can tell you when they are sent to these battles, when they are, essentially. And so when Dietz starts to get deployed into different places that she's not supposed to be, in squads that she's not familiar with, eyebrows are raised and questions are asked. And so the plot kind of pushes her around, so you're taken for a ride, and you don't know where it's going to go next. So it is unpredictable and kind of grabs you, locks you into that aspect, is where you can't really know where Dietz is going to end up next, which I thought was really interesting. It really kind of pulled me in and locked me into the story that way. Have I said that enough times yet? Come on. So it's definitely kind of a psychological game that she's playing here. She tries to figure out who's at the bottom of it and what's happening. why she's seeing things that she's seeing and how she can kind of prevent that, or put a stop to the war altogether, figure out why we're fighting and exactly who we're fighting. So it puts you in a roller coaster that there's nowhere really to see or plan out what's in front of you. So it's brutal, it's military sci-fi. There's the brutality of Starship Troopers somewhat, in that the soldiers obviously are swearing at each other. People are getting killed and maimed and shot at, all that kind of good stuff. So the characters and their interactions with each other too are kind of that military squad dialogue. They don't have big backstories. You're just kind of told, like, this is the grunts, this is the brutes, here's the other person, and you kind of get a feel for a little bit of their character. They're not extreme cliches, like here's the crazy madman, here's the quiet, like, strategic person. They're not to the extreme that they're unrealistic. They're very well kind of put together, and the interaction that the characters have seems very they have a good camaraderie between each other, so I thought that was nice. And so if you're looking for a good exciting action-packed read with some good sci-fi twists and turns and a bit of a psychological thriller-esque thing with some conspiracies, and it's just very well put together, the way that the pieces of the book flow, and I really enjoyed it. This was a book I had requested from the publisher. However, that does not skew my bias of my review here. Kameron Hurley's a good writer. I enjoy the way that this came together. So that was the Light Brigade. Thanks for joining me on my drive. I hope you check it out. Let me know also what other military sci-fi books that you think I should read, besides the classics, if there's some good ones. Let me know if you've read Kameron Hurley's Stars Are Legion, which is high on my TBR as well. Let me know what you thought of that. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope the camera wasn't so bumpy, and the cars weren't so noisy. Now it's getting crazy. But anyway, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.